Hello, my name is Dylan Farr, and this is my leadership development plan for greater development of personal and professional leadership. So, one of my favorite quotes is the strength of a team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team. Now, we've all heard you're only as strong as your weakest link, but I think even the weakest links need their team to fall back on so they can grow into strong links. An overview of this presentation, we'll review the effective leadership model that I developed. We'll review what I learned through this course, my personal leadership philosophy, and my personal leadership development goals. So my effective leadership model is titled The Effective Leader. And the effective leader does three things. They lead themselves, lead their people, and they lead their business. Now, to lead yourself, you need to self-reflect, self-analyze, observe, and act. Self-reflect. Where do I want to be? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And what feedback can I get from my people? Self-analyze. What do I do well? And what are my shortcomings? Now, don't confuse this with strengths and weaknesses. What do I do well and what are my shortcomings are specifically directed toward inside the four walls of the business. Observe, study the big dogs. I work in a franchise network, and some franchise locations are much bigger than we are. And I love these guys. I love to watch them, study them. I follow them on Facebook. I visit their locations when I'm in town. I want to know everything I can about them because one day I want to be them, be like them. And then you have to act. You have to plan and set goals and take action and follow through. And once you can lead yourself, you can lead your people. You need to motivate, empower, and cultivate the culture. Motivate, set goals, stimulate healthy competition, and give feedback and recognition where applicable. Empower, give promotions, add responsibility, facilitate freedom and autonomy. Then you have to cultivate your culture, encourage active communication, promote flexibility, and you have to have fun and be personable and show that you're human because people want to follow a human, not a robot. And lastly, once you're able to effectively lead yourself and effectively lead your people, then you can effectively lead your business, right? So this is where I drafted the FAR, which is my last name, business leadership cycle. First, you identify the problem or your goals and your ambitions. I said earlier, I wanted to be like these big franchise leaders, right? Or the desired outcomes. So then you plan, you research and observe and you strategize. Pull together your people, your thinkers. If you're a bigger company, pull together your board. Smaller company, pull together your business partner. Strategize and create an action plan. Next, execute, implement the action plan. And then it's up to you to guide and steer and support your people who will really be doing the legwork for you. You've got to captain them and keep them on the right path so you can be successful. And encourage feedback. That is crucial. Encourage feedback will lead us into our fourth point, maintain. Monitor your progress, evaluate your feedback, and modify and adjust where needed. Back up to execution, encourage feedback. Well, Joe on the front line found a huge problem. During the maintenance, point number 4, we evaluated his feedback and now we need to adjust. And then it all starts over. The unofficial point number 5 is repeat. Identify, plan, execute, maintain, modify, repeat. This cycle can be used as many times as you need it on the same problem or on 10 different problems. Each time you use it, you're going to get a more refined product every single time. So what have I learned? A lot, really. I really enjoyed this semester. Nearly every single one of the assignments left me with awesome takeaways to bring back to work with me. The self-assessment and reflection was an awesome kickstart to the semester. It made me sit down and really think about leadership and why I decided to pursue grad school and reflect on my strengths and weaknesses. And it really, I feel, got me into the right state of mind for the semester that was ahead. And a lot of times on a lot of different assignments, I found that my fault is I have a lot of confidence, overconfidence in myself. And a cool thing about the character assessment, the VIA character assessment, is my top strength is hope. And it's not confidence, but I think hope can translate into or can look like confidence because I'm not a confident person. I mean, I'm confident. I'm not an overconfident, cocky person, but I am full of hope. Um, so I hope for the best and I hope I can succeed and I hope and I hope and I hope. And I guess that kind of mixes with my confidence a little bit. Now, as far as peer coaching is concerned, I asked Josh, a fellow member of my SEAL Team 6, to be my mentor. And Josh is an engineer. His brain works so much differently than mine. As you can tell, I ramble and I say goofy things and, I beat around the bush. I'm a salesperson. Josh is an engineer. He is so straight-laced. It's wild. But I knew he'd be a good mentor because he was so different than me. And not only did Josh help me, but really every single person in my group helped me big time. I've never taken online classes before the MBA program, and thus far in my MBA journey, I have not taken any online courses that required group work, let alone group work of the magnitude that this class does. So I really, really learned so much from my peers, and we'll touch on that later. So the Learning Circle group assignments were probably among the most beneficial parts of this course, um, just because they were all so different. The first one forever changed the way that I look at leaders and how they represent how they their different bases of power. And the first learning circle was also my first experience with my group. And at first I thought they were crazy, but they really grew on me and we made some really good assignments, had some really good group work going. And then so as we move down LC2, that was fun. I got to creep on Dr. Hood and learn everything I could possibly learn about him off his Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and stuff like that. So we had fun with that, and we were able to that was very, very analytical, building these character profiles literally based on these people's social media, which it was pretty cool. LC3 was probably their most relatable assignment regarding my own professional environment. I really got to dig into motivation, and as the leader of a sales team, I'm big on that. But man, my group, they took this one to a whole nother level as well, far further than anything I'd ever seen. Jennifer works for a massive company, and so she sees motivational programs all the time, where I work for a little sign shop. I don't see these type of things. So the kind of exposure I got from the people in my group, not even the course content, was awesome. Like it was amazing. And LC4 was another fun one. This one really taught me that I was not very analytical and I did not ask why enough, and since coming to this realization, I've made more of an effort to dig deeper into things and see things differently. The cultural awareness and crisis management assessments, wow, talk about humbling. I rated myself one way and the computer rated me the exact opposite, but it was fun to reflect on those and see where my shortcomings are. And this is where I get the I am overconfident in my ability, or I have high hopes in my ability to shoot from the hip and just stick with it and make it work. And these assessments showed me that that's not the case. Clear, more concise, analytical thinking, processing, and decision making is required. My personal philosophy when it comes to leadership is quite simple. It doesn't really have anything to do with strategic management or selling strategies or anything. Just my relationship with my people. Simply put, we're a family. We work together through the struggles. We celebrate victories together. We strategize and bounce ideas off of each other. We communicate open and honestly, providing active and consistent feedback. But most importantly, we respect and look out for each other. There's no bickering or cattiness on my team. I won't let that type of infectious behavior manifest itself among my team's culture. We are family, we are productive. So I have laid out 3 leadership development goals. Goal number 1 is to build a sales team. My developmental objectives: by January of 2021, complete training with the latest hire, salesperson number 5, and have her selling at goal. This means to have her complete all of her training, finish her 90-day period behind the front counter, and begin selling. That means drafting her proactive sales plan and get her up to speed. Developmental objective number 2 is by March of 2021, complete training with our latest salesperson number 6, and get her selling at goal as well. That also means to complete all of her training, her 10-day onboarding process. We just hired her last week. Complete her 90 days behind the counter, conduct 3 ride-along sales calls, and she's earlier in the process. Get her all the way up selling at speed. So we have these 2 salespeople selling at speed. The third objective is by December of 2021, by the end of next year, to hire a 7th salesperson, train them, onboard them, get them selling up to speed, get them their proactive sales plan, and get them up and moving. 3 additional salespeople in the next year. Goal number 2 is self-improvement, higher level educational and managerial achievements. Objective number 1, by December 2021, complete my MBA degree. I have 15 hours left, and I need to finish the completion of my degree, which will be difficult because January of next year, next month, we are expecting our 2nd child. So next semester is definitely going to be a challenge, but I'm up to the challenge. Objective number 2, by January of 2022, end of next year, attend the Fast Signs Sales Management and Leadership Academy for a 2nd time. Now, I've attended this academy, but it was under more hopeful circumstances. I had, at this point, this was the course I needed to complete before I could be moved to sales manager. Now that I've been manager for a couple of years, I see things differently. I've experienced the managerial task. I've led the sales team, and I kind of have a different light shown on the subject. And I really think by doing this seminar again, I can take takeaways differently, maybe in a new light that I can bring back and have more reasonable plans of action for. Goal number 3 is career development. Become director of sales and lead the sales team to exceed company goals. The objective here, by July of 2025, that's 5 years, become director of sales at Fast Signs and lead the organization to over $3 million in annual sales. I say July because in the Fast Signs network, the sales year does not go by the calendar year. It goes from July 1 to June 30. That's the time period that looks at the center's sales. So in that time, I want to build my salespeople, build my team, and grow the company sales. Currently, our sales goals for annually is 2.3 million. Our extended sales goal is 2.5, and our 5-year sales goal is 3 million. So I plan to follow goal number 1 and goal number 2 to eventually be able to develop goal number 3. So to conclude with a statement like, thinking back on the highlights of this semester, the coursework, the group experience, I can truly say that I've learned much more than I had expected. Saying something like that would be kind of cliche, but that statement could not be more accurate. From the first reflection assignment, my wheels were turning. I was starting to see things in a new light. And even still, as I work through this LDP, I'm constantly finding relevant takeaways that I can take back to work. Not only have I learned new leadership concepts, but I've also developed a new mindset that truly digging deeper when it comes to assessing challenges. Um, Repeatedly throughout this course, I've been led to realize that with a more analytical approach, my effectiveness could be exponentially improved. And further, aside from the content, I'm really proud of my group, and I really appreciate my group members. I feel like I learned a lot through them about group work, teamwork, and just the different inputs that all these different brains have in working together. I was really with a special group. So overall, these experiences have had a profound effect on my learning experience, and I see really no better way than to say it as thinking back on the highlights of this semester, such as the coursework and small group experience. I can truly say that I've learned much more than I'd expected.